Good morning, welcome to the next podcast of Andy Collier Talks Cricket Memorabilia. Hope you've had a good week. I've had a pretty special week here, I have to say. So without further ado, we'll crack on with bits and pieces. First of all, we've got a nice swap here for a Johnny Douglas signature. Nice ink one there, Johnny Douglas. And that's going to go, I've showed these before, but the plan is to get these two looking at each other in one frame. Johnny Douglas there, a couple of Maymore photographs there, which are rather nice. Maymore was trying to experiment with light, and I think these two photographs of that sort of experiment come on quite nicely. So these are from the Johnny Douglas collection. So hopefully in another few weeks, my frame really does take a while to do things, but hopefully that's going to go in the middle of the two photographs. So that's the plan anyway. So anyway, on to the other bits and pieces that arrived this week. We've got a nice Basin Reserve card here, about 1910, something like that. We've got New Zealand postcard on the back there, and we've got Industria Series. So that's a nice one there of the Basin Reserve in New Zealand. That goes with this one here, which is I already had, which is slightly further up the other end. This one's 1909, this one, with the social history on the back. So pleased to get hold of that one this week with the New Zealand theme. And thanks very much to Ian who sent those through with a buyer beware of on eBay. With he bought these many years ago with supposedly signed photographs of the Surrey team. But as you can see, they're very just printed on there. So no signatures on them, so buyer beware there. I just noticed here on one of them, if I can find him, is David Fletcher, who's actually well, my coach at the Oval. Was a very slim term of coach. I'm just trying to find him now, because on here it's got him as a right-hander, and he's actually a left-hander. There he is there, look. So we've got him doing as a right-hander there, he's actually a left-hander. So we've got a bit of a switch over there of plates. Anyway, that's a nice little set there of cards. I'm not quite sure what they come out of, but 1948 those cards anyway. So thanks for him for those. Nice one here, Jack Parker. So he signed one there. I know he signed it on his blazer there, which always makes it a bit difficult to see, but I suppose without signing it right across his face, he wouldn't have been able to get it in there. So anyway, nice signed one there of Jack Parker, Surrey boy, 30s. Nice one here of Melbourne 1956 Olympics, Melbourne Cricket Ground there. People in the middle, I imagine that's the opening ceremony perhaps, but there's nothing else on the back there apart from a split address and what have you. Anyway, so that's a nice one there, 1956. Thanks Andy for that, putting that on to me. And a couple of nice ones here. This is the new one of Singapore Cricket Club Pavilion. Beautiful building, I have to say. This is about 1920, I imagine, something like that. That's got a couple of others of the Singapore Cricket Pavilion. A nice coloured one there. And I've had a good message this week saying that it's largely exactly the same as it is in these photographs. So that'd be a nice one to go and visit, perhaps taking a bit of cricket at some stage. So nice one there of the Singapore Cricket Ground. That's very pleased with those. Now, nice one here of Kevin Peterson's signature, full signature. When I was in the West Indies and he came into the bar and he was signing signatures just like that. So nowadays it's pretty lazy and KP and what have you. So I'm very pleased to get hold of a proper Kevin Peterson signature there. And we've got a nice one here, nice scorecard there. Another swap job, this one. It's Middlesex v Surrey, 1893. Middlesex have won, I think, by 77 runs. And you've got Stoddart and O'Brien getting hundreds there. Surrey team including Abel, Lockwood, and KJ Key, Reed, Brockwell, and Richardson. So that's a nice postcard there. All the fixtures on for the season on the back. So pretty pleased to get hold of that. Thanks, John, for that. And another nice one here arrived this week, which is 1925 booklet of Surrey. We've got the master on the front there. And you've got everything in there. It's a nice one there of Percy Fender. All the stuff you needed to know about the previous season. A bit like a yearbook really, but in a smaller version. What else we got? Got the averages and what have you in there. So a nice pamphlet there from the Surrey Cricket Club. And that goes with a couple of others I've got. This one is cricket, all about London's Big Four. So you've got a nice one there. Who have you got on the front there? You've got the Master, Patsy Hendren, Frank Woolley and Russell on there. Jack Russell. So a nice one there. That again shows you all the ins and outs of that season. A nice photograph there of Lords actually, there in the middle. So pleased to have already had that many years ago. And a nice one here, 1923 oval. Again, cricket guide, 1923. Got all the bits and pieces you need to know in there about the players and all that sort of stuff. So it's a nice little booklet, this one. Individual records in there. I did actually see that go at an auction for £100 many years ago. I don't think it'll reach those heights these days. Anyway, nice to have. So a nice little threesome there. And a nice photograph here, another swapsy, Alan Knott and Alex Stewart on a training session. I knew Alec was given a lot of advice by Alan Knott, so nice one to get hold of Alec there. Looks like about the 1996-ish, somewhere like that, because they were sponsored by Tetley Bitter, so definitely in South Africa in 1995 when we went. So a nice colour photograph there. And there's some nice ones here of the 1970-71 England tour, or MCC tour to Australia. We've all got our tours that sort of we first remember, and I think the 1970-71 tour to Australia was the first one for me anyway. So we've got here nice sort of panoramic of all the players there, and it's a daily sketch, all the stuff on the back there for that. So nice team photograph. I think I showed a nice photograph of the team in their blazers the other week. Nice one here. We've got Jenna being clonked by Jon Snow, which caused a bit of a ruckus that day. I can remember, you know, a bit of a pulling and pushing of Jon Snow on the boundary by a spectator. So a nice one to get hold of there, Jenna. Which one's this? This is Ian Chappell missing Ray Illingworth at slip. And what else we've got here? Now, so I've got a bit of an unknown there. I'm not quite sure who that is. That might be Jenna, but I'm not sure. Don't know about that. We've also got Boycott, Illingworth, Snow, Peter Lever and Derek Underwood there, looking like they've just finished the day, having a couple of beers. Nice one here. We got Lily bouncing Luckhurst there. 7th Test match, that one. I think Lily was close to making his debut at that time, I think, there. And we've all got what we got here. We got Brian Luckhurst being caught off Doug Walters' bowling there by Redpath. And we've got here Chappell, I think, being caught by Alan Knott off Jon Snow. Nice photograph there. 7th Test again. And we've got a nice one there of Jon Snow bouncing Dougie Walters. What does that say? It doesn't. So that's December, so that's the 2nd Test match, that one. So a nice one there. Dougie Walters taking evasive action. So that's about that for that week. But anyway, finally went to the Oval on Friday night and waited around for seemed like an age to get Jimmy Anderson to actually sign this pair of boots that I got probably 20 years ago, I think now. So these were Woodburn boots. He was sponsored by Woodburn at the time, along with Kevin Peterson and Freddie Flintoff. And these were had 2 pairs made for him. This was the 2nd pair, which well, I know he tried them on, he said the other night, but and they were unused, these ones. So I'm really pleased to get a nice signature from Jimmy. He was nice about it. He said, "Oh, that's a blast in the past," he said, when I got him to sign them. So really pleased to get hold of those at about 10:30 at night on Friday at the T20. Anyway, that's about it for this week. As you can see, I'm pretty euphoric this week about what I've got. So I hope you've enjoyed that one, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.